Hi everybody, this is Shelley from Healing Intentions, and this is our full moon forecast for April the 14th, 2014. Now there's an awful lot of stuff going on with this full moon. We have the Grand Cross. We also have a lunar eclipse. So I had to do a little extra research because I'm not an astrologist. So what I would suggest is I'm going to try and give you the best summary that I was able to come up with, and I would also say to look at some sites that you trust and read up on the Grand Cross yourself and the lunar eclipse, okay? But from what I can understand in the research that I've done, I had to make some notes, so if I look down, please excuse me. The Grand Cross, now I understand that it's very powerful, and it means that what we've pushed down or have ignored or have decided not to deal with is now rising so we can deal with it to transform our lives forever. Okay, now what this means is that I know that some people have been phoning me and saying like they're knocked down with some kind of flu, but it's not the flu because they're not sick like a regular flu, but they feel almost like they have no energy or they're bedridden. Well, it's because what the Grand Cross does is it really brings up everything that we have decided we don't have to deal with or we didn't handle properly the first time, and is really forcing it all up at once as if we're purging, which is kind of like a flu, isn't it? So now this Grand Cross isn't supposed to kick in until April the 23rd, but we're already feeling the energies because it's the full moon and the lunar eclipse on top of it. Okay, so like it or not, all this stuff is coming up because we need to deal with it, and this seems to be a common denominator in all three parts of what's going on right now with this full moon. Okay, now the lunar eclipse. Now it says that it falls on the sign of Libra. Now we all know that Libra is about balance and fairness, and we also know that Libras are very, I would say, loving energy, compassionate, all that, and we really try and find a balance in everything. And sometimes that can be pretty difficult as a Libra, I know that, but you know, we do the best that we can. And when we do stuff, we always do it to a very extreme point, I guess I'd like to say. So, with it falling on the sign of Libra, it actually represents diplomacy, relationships, fairness, and reality. But we will instead feel the opposite. So, what makes this lunar eclipse so odd to a point is that we're all feeling very, I want to say, out of balance. We're dizzy, we're feeling nauseous, we're feeling unsure of ourselves. So, this is why it's interesting that we're feeling out of balance in the effect of Libra being on the lunar eclipse. Okay, a little confusing, but I think that's how we're supposed to understand it. Okay, so it says here that I wrote down, so the purpose and energies of this full moon will be intensified by at least 10 times more than normal, and that's because of the lunar eclipse. Okay, so don't jump. Like if somebody says something, try not to take it too personal. Understand that we're really going to feel what's being said and what's going on. Okay, so it basically says pay attention to not create more tension. Okay, now remember, anything that hasn't been resolved will reappear to finally be dealt with. Do not do yourself a favor and deal with it, is what it said on the site. I thought that was pretty cool. Be gentle and know we are all riding the wave together. So that's the whole point of understanding that if somebody says to you something that might rub you the wrong way, this is where you're being asked to not, react the way they're expecting you to react, and just listen and then walk away and then try and discuss it later. So trying to be diplomatic, I guess, is the whole point also that the lunar eclipse is putting on. So very close similarities with the Grand Cross and the lunar eclipse and with the full moon. Because what I have been told about the full moon and what I have read on it is that really and truly, because it falls in the sign of Libra, this is all about balance. Now, I also know that we're being shown an awful lot of stuff, so our vision is becoming clear. So what somebody portrays isn't what we're going to see, because we're going to see behind the mask. Now, that can make a lot of people uncomfortable, and it can even make yourself uncomfortable. So This is where we are also going to be shown how we see ourselves. Hmm. So, yeah, interesting, isn't it? So, the important part of this full moon is seeing every relationship in our lives from all angles and balance and deal with the energies. And no matter how scary or difficult it is, we are being asked to deal with them. Okay? Now, understanding that that is not always something that we like to do. But with this being a grand cross with a lunar eclipse on a full moon, do it. Do it, do it, do it. Okay, I can't stress that enough because of the rewards that are coming with actually doing this. And when I say rewards, I'm not just talking about monetarily or any of that kind of stuff. This is actually going to bring so much light and so much awareness to so many people that it's going to change the energies all over the world. And this is what we're being pushed to do. And this is huge. Okay, it's huge in healing the earth. It's huge in healing ourselves. It's huge in having relationships that are so healthy that we can truly be who we are without being afraid of it. Okay, now even I know that that for me sometimes it has been a challenge because of what I've been able to do since I was a child. And I've also been learning that I've been always very scared that when people say, you know, Shelley, I don't know what I'd do without you because you've helped me so much with the healing or with the reading, and I always tell them, thank you, that it's not me, I'm a vessel for source. But what I've been learning over the past week or so is that I need to absorb some of that energy into my heart too, because that means that I get to honor who I am of choosing to do the work of being the vessel for source. Still working on it, getting it pretty good, but trying not to. I've always been scared of going into ego. So trying to find a balance, there we go. Trying not to fear what is being presented to me with all the great opportunities that Source has been putting on my plate, which everybody will know in the future, working on a few things. So, but really trying to feel that I'm even worthy of being able to carry them out. So isn't that strange? Because if it's coming from Source, where do I have to worry about being worthy of it? Now there's a balance. There's the seeing myself clearly. So believe me when I say that when I'm speaking this stuff, I'm also experiencing it. Okay, so we're all, let's say, in the boat together, holding on to the paddles for dear life. Okay, so let's finish this up. So I know that we're also being asked to change what needs to be changed. So any habit or old belief system, like I just was talking about, not feeling worthy enough, that no longer serves our highest good, whatever that looks like in your life, do it. I'll stress again, do it. It's going to pay off, I promise. And the manifestations are happening so fast that you really have to be careful about your thought patterns and the energies that you're putting out because it can occur like that. Okay, so it's fast, it's quick, and you can repair things. You can, go back and say, okay, not quite what I meant, but it's better to just be clear the first time, as clear as you can be. But now that's another point of learning the lesson, isn't it? Is learning how to ask for what you want to receive, for what's for the greatest good of you. Okay? Now, I know too that everyone, like I said before, is feeling raw. So remember that when you respond or interpret what's going on around you, just try to remember that it isn't always about a personal attack. It's about people seeing themselves in you and how they're responding like that. So we're right now being a mirror for each other is one of the hugest things that's going on. Okay? So do your best to just breathe and relax through it. So even though this time is shaky, it is actually the best time to truly see who we are and what we want and to manifest with this. Now, this is a chance to completely change ourselves and as a whole and our lives. So this is a huge gift. And I know I've been talking about gifts before, but this one is not only for ourselves, but it's for everyone around us. It's for the earth. It's for every energy that you partake in as a whole. Okay? Now, illumination is what this is all about. So We can see, others can observe how we see, they can start putting it into practice. So people who are starting to be in the light or are of the light or practice in the light are really helping people find the light. So that's why some of us light workers are really starting to feel tired and overwhelmed. I know that a lot of light workers are dealing with an awful lot of their own stuff in their dreams. So when we wake up, we're even tireder than we went to sleep. I know that's happening to a lot of people. Sleep right now is not something that's coming easy. So just know that your body is getting what it needs when it needs it. This was a long one, a lot to cover. Now, as I said before, check out a few of the sites that you trust to really be clear about this. I know that there was a lot to cover. I appreciate everybody watching my posts and sharing them. Now, through all of this, I know that I'm on some new exciting adventures, and I know that all of you will be too. Don't be afraid. Fear stops us, so don't allow fear to stop the greatness that's happening right now. Okay? Love ya. Hope everybody hangs in there. Try and just ride the waves, sit in the boat. We're all together. You're not alone. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.